Well, Terry, I tried something new yesterday. So much for that.
Yeah.
Back to where we came from, baby. After maybe I should give it more than one day. Sorry that we're a little bit behind today. A little bit of catching up late with all these different. Parks is always one that I'm always rushing right at the end because there's so many races relative to the other days that. And then just putting the graphics together, and then if I make one mistake, it sets me back. So that's
Yeah.
what happened today. To go back and redo a couple of the slides. So that's the way it works.
There are also a lot of scratches, and they come, pretty late,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah. Well, we'll see if we can get by the scratches today. Did you spend some time with us last night, Terry, and trainer Jorge Delgado?
I did, and I really like this guy. I like his attitude, and he was very forthright. Talked about
Mm-hmm.
things. Yeah, I liked him a lot, and
Yeah,
I wish him luck for the Kentucky Derby next year.
I hope so too. He said he's got some money. Some owners are bucked up for him. They're going to go over
Yeah,
and buy some horses at the sale, and I hope some of them will be strong enough to compete in next year's Derby Trail. Couple of other things, though. He gave us about 5 horses of his to keep an eye on,
he
Terry, that he
did. Yeah,
says. And he gave us a young one coming out. Let's see. I don't know where I put my notes, but let me see if I can find my notes real quick. But I think one of them was called Philly Babe or something like that.
yeah, something like that.
Yeah, let's see. I wrote them down right here. Here we go. The only problem is I can't read my own handwriting sometimes. So he says there's one called Nice. Nice Baby, maybe. I don't know. I'll have to look it up again. Willie B. Boy, Dr. Amber, a couple of horses that he put out there. So make sure you keep an eye out for his horses when they come live. I know that Sean's going to stay in touch with them because he said that he don't mind if we stay in touch with him, and he'll let us know, hey, if these horses are ready to go or not. So that's one of the benefits of being in this community, right?
It is absolutely.
You ever have a moment in a race, Terry, where one of those races where you can just see the momentum go away?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yesterday, when that 8-horse, my first time starter, where I brought up and I thought, okay, it's going to win.
Yeah.
And then when the 6-horse ran by him, even though I had the 6-horse in my picks and I had the superfecta in that group of horses, it was like $32 for a dime. But when you just get beat at the end like that, it's almost like the light switch turns off for the rest of the card. I don't know if it's a mental thing for me or just really how it works.
No, I think it's how it works because that's what happens to me usually.
Yeah, when you get like one race that kind of just screws everything up,
Yeah,
then
and
yeah.
if you haven't already made some of the bets, for instance, in the future races, it does change your attitude, I think, somewhat, and maybe change the way that you decide to bet.
Could be, yeah. I know it
Yeah.
just screwed up the rest of my day. So hopefully we don't have such an event today, Terry, with with Parx, which is one of our favorite tracks, right?
Yeah, it is. It's a good track.
So let's get cracking with race number 1 at Parx. So let me just make an adjustment to my screen here a little bit so that it takes up the full screen when we bring it live. And then Parx, race number 1, Terry. Come on, add to the stream. There you go. Come on, mouse. Work a little bit for me today. 6.5 furlongs. This one's claiming 5,000. Non-winners of 2. These are fillies and mares, 3 years old and up, which have not won 2 races since October 12th. So you get a little bit of a weight break if you're 3 years old. Anything over, you got to carry a little bit more weight. 6.5 furlongs, Terry. They've run 45 races. They're going to run a lot of them today, as a matter of fact, at 6.5 furlongs. 29 were won by speed. 17 went wire to wire. This one, there's actually a big rail edge. Take away a half a furlong, and it's the exact opposite. The inside 3 have an overall advantage over the rest of the crew, and 4 plus are all similar. So how are you going to start Tuesday?
Well, I don't know. I think I'm going to start with number 2, Wishes and Dreams.
2 for Tuesday.
Yeah, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
She's finished in the money in 5 out of her last 10 races at Parx Racing, and she won 2 of those races. She has the highest last race speed rating and drops in class today. Then number 6, That Boy Girl. She had a terrible finish in her last race after being fractious and at the gate and having a terrible start. So I will ignore that race. And she has a high percentage winning trainer, and her best start speed is actually among today's starters. And then number 1, Mrs. Cruz. She won her last race at Parx Racing, receiving the highest last race speed rating. And the rail post is winning at a 27% clip. That's pretty good.
That's a
And the,
pretty good one. Yeah, you
yeah,
can take a half a furlong away, it wins at a 3% clip. So I don't know what's going on at 6 furlongs, but there's clearly something weird.
yeah, that is. And the jockey in the last 7 days has finished in the money 7 out of 12 times, winning 3. And then number 7, Lucia Lola. Luscious Lola. She
Luscious
does,
Lola. Yes.
yes, she does well at Parx Racing, finishing in the money 42% of her starts, and she's won 24% of those races, and the distance won't be a problem for her.
Well, we're going to start off with the rail horse. As you mentioned, Terry, the rail does win at an amazing 27%. So there seems to be a pretty good reason to want to get the rail there. Did win her last race last time. Improved across the board. Those 2, 4, and late pace numbers were much better. And it all resulted in the top last race speed figure. Number 7, Luscious Lola. Lola, hello, Lola. That Lola wasn't so luscious if you're familiar with that song. But anyway, the horse has run at the distance twice, has a win and a second, and showed a ton of late pace improvement last out. Wishes and Dreams is a horse I think will be better in its third start off the bench. Your top choice there, Terry. Gets a chalky change to Dexter Haddock, and maybe Dexter can get a little bit more out of this horse. And then, Terry, I'm surprised you didn't pick this one. Mad Mary, the 4 horse.
Yes, you beat me last time, right?
Yes, indeed. Has the top early pace and late pace combination in the field, dropping in class after being better in the first half of her last race.
Yeah.
Race number 2, again, 6.5 furlongs, Terry. 45 races, as we mentioned. Most of them won by speed, 17 going wire to wire. And once again, that rail post does carry a pretty big advantage for this claiming. 5,000 for 3-year-olds and up, which have not won a race since October 12th. So there you go, Terry. You like the 6 horse? I like this as my box it up. So let me bring up the box it up, Terry. Okay. I feel like this is a race today where we're going to get a lot. Hey, the man is back. Good morning, guys. Good morning, Mike from East Texas. Right?
Hi, Mike.
In my memory, Mike, sometimes it's a little bit tough at times. Unfortunately, I don't know what's going on up there from day to day. But my box it up in race number 2. I feel like this is a race where we can get some nice prices in here, Terry. That's why I went with it. Number 2, Current Hope, does have the top early pace and top late pace number in the field. So if I'm out front and I can run faster than you in the end, well, you can't pass what you can't catch. This is also a horse taking what I call a track drop, coming in from Gulfstream Park. Number 6, Keeping the Peace, gets Ruben Silvera, was much better in the first half of the last start and has a pretty good late pace number as well. Classified Info, cutting back in distance. I think this one should be part of the early pace. If you look at those 2 and 4 furlong numbers, they exploded higher in Classified Info's last start. So maybe they can carry that through to this race. And then finally, closing it out with number 5, Six Sider. I feel like you look at those past performance and you look at that last race, it's probably going to scare quite a few people away. But if you dig a little bit deeper, you'll find that the 6.5 furlongs fractions were faster than the 5.5 furlongs. So actually, the horse's fractions were better in the last race. So it showed some improvement. So my box it up, race number 2, 2, 6, 7, 5. And depending on how long we go, Terry, we might know how that one plays out before we close the show today.
It could be. And let me tell you, there's a couple of scratches in this race. The 1, Clear Prosperity, and the 9, Will Haven. So I like the number 6 as my top pick, Keeping the Peace. 2 races back, he came in from Laurel and finished 3rd versus Similar here. Then he returned to Laurel and finished 6th. So I think his connections decided to return to Parx Racing, where he seems to be a little more competitive.
Well, I mean, it's a track drop, right? I mean, Laurel's a little bit more competitive at track, so he's not going to face the same kind of horses.
That's right. Mm-hmm. And he switches to a high percentage jockey, Ruben Silvera. And in the last 7 days, he's won 5 out of 18. Then I like as my second pick, number 2, Current Hope. He is trying Parx Racing for the first time after racing at Gulfstream. So that's a track drop. And last year, he earned the highest last speed rating. He drops in class today, and he has a good workout on April 2nd of 49 breezing from the gate, 11 out of 38. And then I like number 4 as my third pick is got Cause I Did It My Way. He
It's a
won.
Frank Sinatra horse, huh?
That's right. He won at Del Mar, where Frank Sinatra used to go, but he won at Del Mar last August and took an extended break. Ran a race here in January and basically just stopped. He had a very good workout, though, on March 16th, 48.3 breezing, fifth best of 36, and then a maintenance workout on April 2nd. He has a high percentage winning trainer who wins 33% of the time when he drops a horse down 2 classes, and his best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters. And then number 3, Big Bad Bud is my 4th pick. He went up in class and ran a couple of races that he was over his head in, and now drops back to a class of horses where he can be very competitive again. He likes the distance, finishing 100% of the time in the money, winning 25% of those races.
Terry, have you ever been to a New York Yankees game? We were talking about Frank Sinatra.
Yeah, no, I've never been there, but I know they play that. Well, I think 7th inning.
No, they played at the end of the game.
Oh, the end of the game. Okay.
Start spreading the news.
The news.
Yes, I'm leaving today. So start spreading the news. You know why, Terry?
Why is that?
Race number 3 is the Battle of Long Shots, baby.
That's right.
I'm going to have to get a graphic of like you and I when we have a battle. And then when I get the graphic the next day, like if you win, you'll be vanquishing me like a Viking, right? And if I win, then I'll be vanquishing you. Like, I don't know what other vanquishers there are out there, but I'll find a vanquisher for me. So you like the 4 horse. I like the 6 horse. And what's funny about that, Terry, what's really funny about this is I like the 6 as my first pick, but the 4 is my last pick. You like the 4, but your 6 is your last pick. And then we have 2, 5 in the same exact order in the middle. So it's really a battle. So you start off with the 4, and then I'll say why we like the 6, and then we'll go from there.
All right. Sounds good. Okay. Well, listen, in this race, there are no scratches that I've seen. It's the girls and number 4, Outline. She's closed to finish 3rd in her last race at 6 furlongs, and now she stretches out to a mile, which I think will help. The trainer wins 18% of the races in the first race after claiming a horse, and the jockey in the last 7 days has won 2 out of 8 races, and she may improve with blinkers being added today. Then
so let me tell you why the 6 horse is going to beat your 4 horses in Long Shot.
Okay. Okay.
And honestly, I wrote down in my notes, it probably shouldn't be rated first.
Okay.
But it is the lone speed horse in a field. And because it's the lone speed horse in the field, it could get the lead here, Terry. And most of the other horses in here, when I look at them, there's only one other horse in here that likes to do anything close to the front. That's the 3 horse that pressures. Everybody else wants to be towards the back. So I feel like Super Duper Fly could get off to an easy lead. Did run the top last race speed figure last time out. So lone speed gets to the front, top last race speed figure, and 11 furlongs of workouts since the last race, including a very good one in the middle. So lone speed, firm, fit, ready to go. My long shot beats your long shot today, Terry. But if not, then we both agree the 2 and the 5 will finish 2nd and 3rd in this 1 mile race. Why do you think the 2 and the 5, will finish in the middle?
Well, the 2, my second choice, using coconuts. You know, she closed to run 2nd, beating only a nose at 6.5 furlongs with Frankie Pendleton in the irons 2 races back. Then she ran 4th at 6 furlongs with a different jockey. Now she's got Frankie Pendleton again to ride, and she stretches out to a mile, which I think will work for her. Number 5, Moonchild, was my 3rd pick. She ran 3rd in her last race at Parx Racing, and she has a high percentage winning trainer who wins 25% of the time when going from a maiden claiming to a maiden race. She can improve while returning to a route, and she has a trainer-jockey combination who in the last 14 days have won 50% of their starts.
All right, so now give us all the reasons why the 6 is going to beat your 4.
Well, I don't think that's going to happen, but I do like the 6 as my 4th pick, Super Duper Fly. She ran 2nd versus similar in her last race at Parx Racing. She has the highest last speed rating. Her best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters, and the trainer wins 25% of the time when his entry races for the first time at a route. That's my negative thing. I don't know if she can go the distance. So
I like the fact that they go the first time route because you just don't know if they're going to be able to do it or not. So this is and if they do it, again, I mentioned early speed. When you're running speed at sprints, you're going to have speed in routes. So this is a 1 mile race, and it's a $42,000 maiden special rate. 38 races at a mile, 22 of which were won by speed bias there. You have an outside bias, so from 7 to 1, the farther away you are from the rail, the better you are, unless you wear an 8 or above, in which case there's a penalty. Some really weird post-position biases at Parx. I like the 2 horse as my second slot, too, using coconuts. Denzel Washington horse in the barbershop, not really getting a haircut yet, 9 times with 4 seconds and a third. 3 seconds in fresh starts like today. So that's the one thing I really like about the 2 horse. It's coming off the bench in its debut, and the other 2 times that the horse came off of the break did run second. So it's run its best races under these conditions. Number 5, Moonchild, very consistent horse. So you kind of know what you're going to get from it, and maybe not a lot of upside in here. Trainer Penny Purse is going to go sprint route here. And when Penny does that, she's won 5 out of 13. And this one's not a cheapie either. Cost $250,000. Number 4.
Wait a minute. Tell me how number 4 is going to beat mine. Beat your number 6.
So you got to steal my lines, Terry?
That's right. Because
well, you know what they say. Imitation is the biggest form of flattery. So thank you, Terry.
You're right.
I'm flattered. I'm actually turning red. Outline. Anyway, it is a Denzel Washington horse as well. 5 races, a second and 3/3, all of which are Parx. As you mentioned, Guadalupe Guerrero did claim this horse, wins it 18% of the time. First time out off of a claim. Normally, Guadalupe only wins at 11%. So you got a little bit of trainer alpha there, Terry. But it's one that likes to hang. So it's going to hang late as my 6 continues to pile on the distance up front as the leader. Race number 4 is your box it up, Terry. So let me pull that up. Again, box it ups are a 4 horses, $1 exacta box, 50-cent trifecta box, 10-cent superfecta box. So in race number 4, Terry, real quick, the conditions before I let you go on. This one's a mile and 70 yards, maiden claiming $25,000 for a purse of 26. These are for registered Pennsylvania breds, 3 years old and up. And real quickly, the mile and 70 yards profile of a winner, 100 races. So the math was really easy for me here. 67 of them won by speed, 24 going wire to wire. There is an inside 3 bias. And if you wear an 8 or above, you outperform 4 through 7. Take us through your box.
Well, first of all, there is a late scratch in this race that just came out. Number 1. I'm sorry, there isn't. No, let me tell you why. I picked the box it up. What I try to do is find a race where there's no real hard favorite, and there's some pretty good horses that are going to pay decent prices. So number 8 is my first pick, Mischievous Jones. He finished 3rd versus Tougher in his last race, earned the highest last race speed rating, drops in class today, and has a high percentage winning job. Then I like number 3, Social Joe. He ran 2nd in his last race at Penn National at today's distance and has a decent workout of 50 breezing. He was 11th out of 31. And then number 7, About the Multiple. Finished 3rd versus Similar in his last race and has a high percentage winning trainer. And then number 1, Margin of Error. He finished 3rd in his last race at Parx Racing. Darrell Post is winning at a 20% clip. And he has a trainer who wins 25% of the races when going from maiden to maiden claiming races.
Well, I agree with you, Terry, here with the 8 horse in this race. Mischievous Jones did run the top last race speed figure, and it's taken the Tom Carley drop, moving from maiden special weight down into the maiden claiming ranks. Last time out, the horse did run better in the early part of the race, and the late part of the race kind of took a little bit of pause in the middle, so maybe a Z pattern there. I'm not really sold on that Z pattern yet, but or maybe I have it wrong. I'm not sure. Horse did show a little better fractions in its last race, so maybe Mischievous Jones with the track drop in the top last race speed figure, enough to get the job done here to lead off the box. I also have the number 1, Margin of Error. last time out. This is another horse that's making the maiden special weight to maiden claiming drop. Ran for a maiden special weight, $34,000 last time out. And since then, has put in 14 furlongs of workouts since March the 22nd. So the horse should be fit, firm, and ready to run. It's also first time gelded. So I think he's going to be kind of angry when he hits the track as well. And he rides a pretty high percent winning rail here at 20%. Number 4, Icy Cold. I think this one has the potential to get up on the lead as the possible lone E-horse. It's also getting a weight break for trainer John Service, who wins at 24% of the time when he takes a horse from a sprint to a sprint and then to a route. And then finally, Nicky DeFox should be better in his third start off the bench. Did show much better fractions last time out at 1 mile and 70 yards, just like today, versus his previous start, which was at 7 furlong affair. Race number 5, Terry, is hold on one second. Race 6. Race 5 is a nice race here, 6.5 furlongs. It's an allowance, $25,000 for a purse of $30,000. Fillies and mares, 3 years old and up, which have started for a claiming price of $25,000 or less, and which have never won a race other than maiden or claiming, or never won 4 races, Terry. So a lot of horses in here that have not won 4 races, I suppose. How do you like race number 5?
Well, let me tell you, this is a funny one too, because my top pick is your 4th pick, and my 4th pick is your top pick. And we both have the 3 and 5, but we have them reversed.
Do we have our picks almost exactly reversed? We have them exactly reversed, indeed.
Yeah, that's true.
So one of us is backwards, Terry. Probably you.
Probably me. No, I don't think so.
Yes. Hey, Charles, what's happening?
Anyway, I like number 4, Esperita. She won 3 races in a row and then ran last in her last race, breaking from the outside post position and running wide the entire race. So I think it's a race I can throw out. The trainer wins 25% of the races when bringing a beaten favorite back to race, and the jockey in the last 7 days has won 2 out of 8 starts. And then number 3, It Can. She finished in the money in her last 2 races at Parx Racing, winning the last one and received the highest last race speed rating, tied with another horse. The trainer wins 18% of the time when bringing back the winner of their last race again. And then number 5, Back Channel. She won her 2 races in a row and then ran 5th on a muddy track, which I don't think she liked, the mud. She has a high percentage winning trainer, and her best start speed is fast among today's starters. She has a good workout of 4 furlongs, 48 breezing, second best out of 38. And then number 6, your top pick, Center Court Champ. She ran second versus similar in her last race, and she got the highest last race speed, tied with the other horse I was talking about. The trainer wins 18% of the races when using second-time Lasix, and the jockey in the last 7 days have won 4 out of 15 races.
Number 5, Center Court Champ. As you mentioned, Terry's coming off the best speed figure produced by any of these horses in their last start. What I like here is I'm expecting the horse, according to his resume, to improve. This will be the 3rd start off the bench. And when you look back at race cycles, we talked about books on one of Sean's questions on social media. Which books? There's one out there called Horse Racing Cycles. I have it right down here. Written by Mark Kramer, Horse Racing Cycles. One of the things that he talks about is how the horses peak. This horse did run its best race of 3 in the last 3 race cycle, and it's only 3 race cycle. And number 5, Back Channel at Parx, ran 3 times, won 2 of those 3. Run at the distance 5 times, been in the money 100% of the time. Splitting, you got to win, split by 3 seconds and a third in those 5 starts. Put together, as you mentioned, a very strong workout on April the 2nd. Second fastest of 38 at 4 furlongs. Got to like that. Number 3, It Can, does have the top late pace figures in this spot by a sizable margin. And if I look at the pace setup in this race, it looks to me like in race number 5, there's a lot of early pace and not a whole lot in the way of late pace. So if they go too fast, it should really benefit number 3, It Can. Finally, number 4, Espercita. Won her first 3 races, was the beaten favorite last time against some of these in here. Did run better too in far long pace numbers in that last race, but then just completely ran out of gas in the second half of the race there. So I wonder if it hit a wall and peaked a couple races back, or does the horse bounce back in this spot? And to me, that was my big concern. I did not know. So I'm leaning towards that late pace, telling me that the horse maybe peaked a couple of races ago. Race number 6 is a claiming 5,000 non-winners of 2. So this is for fillies and mares again, 3 years old and up, which not have won 2 races since October 12th. This one again is 1 mile and 70 yards. Just a quick recap: at 1 mile and 70 yards in race number 6. 100 races, 67 won by speed, 24 going wire to wire. You do have an inside 3 bias, and 8 outperforms 4 through 7. Terry, take us through your ideas in race number 6.
Well, first of all, there's 2 scratches. Number 1, Manny Petty, and number 8, Mariana.
Have you ever gotten one of those, Terry?
No, I've never had one.
You never had a pedicure?
No, one time they cut my toe and I never went back.
So. So where did they cut it off, or
no? They just snipped.
They just cut it. I see.
Yeah, and it was, the lady was screaming like crazy because it was bleeding like crazy because I have blood thinners. So.
So you're like a movie, like just like a horror movie, just spouting out at her, huh?
That's right. Yeah,
I'd probably run away there too. Race number 5. No love for the 1 or 2 except speed to hold on to the track bias today. All right, Terry. What about you?
Okay, number 6. My first pick is number 3, Lady Bresic. She won 2 races in a row and now going for a hat trick and received the highest last speed rating in winning the race, and she likes the distance. Number 5, Little Miss Hotshot. She has early speed and drops in class today. She has finished in the money in 53% of her during her long career, and she's finished win 15% of those races. Number 3, Londonderry. She won her last race at Parx Racing, has a high percentage winning trainer, wins 23% of the time when she brings back a horse that won their last claiming race, and the trainer jockey combination in the last 14 days has been in the money 3 out of 5 times, winning 2 of those. And number 4 is my 4th pick, Bella G. She drops in class today and wins 25% of the races when a drop. The trainer wins 25% of the races when he drops a horse down 2 classes, and the trainer has won 6 out of the last 18 starts.
So Charles, to kind of rewind back to race number 5, you're talking about the 1 and the 2 early speed. You think speed is going to hold on for the track bias today? When I look at the race number 5, I have the 2, the 5, and the 6 as horses that could go out to the front, with the 2 being the top early pace horse in the field. Probably going to get a little bit pressure, I think, from the 5 and the 6. You also have the 1 and the 3, which are chasers. So I wouldn't be surprised if they run a little bit fast and then fade a little bit at the end. So that's just the way I kind of diagrammed out the race. And then hopefully, well, if you played the 1 and 2 for you, somehow I hope it's a dead heat, right?
Yeah.
All right. So race number 6, the way I'm looking at this race is there is not as much early speed here. So I'm looking at the number 5 horse, Little Miss Hotshot. Shouldn't be too far off the pace, as in fact, I have one of 2 EP horses without an early pace horse in the field. So if the horse should be 1, first, second, or third, but has the best late pace numbers in the field, so should sit right off the lead and then run right by him as they come to the finish line. Number 3, Lady Brexit, won 2 in a row, and they weren't close. Better fractions by 2 seconds in the slop. Not as worried about the Parx dependent Parx here, as it won its lone race at Parx 2 starts ago. But what does concern me a little bit is the horses really perform much better in the off track than it has on a fast track. And it's going to get a fast track today, if I remember correctly. So I have a little concern that maybe I should have downgraded that one a little bit. But with some other scratches in this race, Terry, that's why it kind of bumped up a little bit for me. Number 7, subsidiary. Sorry,
Yep.
Can't read my own typing. This is one that could be on the lead along with the number 5. Does have the top early pace numbers in the field, but can also run from mid pack. So a little bit of versatility with the 7 horse. Number 6, Londonderry, was a hard call for me over the number 4. But if you look at Bella G's last race, that was kind of ugly. The race before that was really nice, where it actually beat Bella G beat Londonderry. But if you look back past that race, a lot of Bella G's races are really bad. So the 6-horse Londonderry is the lone closer in a field of chasers and pressers. So maybe they all try to gun for the lead because they see the same thing I do, and it opens up the door for a horse to come off the pace at the end to close into the exacta or trifecta, something along those lines. So we're around what race? Number 7 now, Terry?
Yeah, but
So this is going to be our hot dog pick 4
yeah.
then, right? Yes, indeed. All right, so let's pull up our hot dog pick 4s. We did a little bit different on that prime ribs today. We both went $18 today. We both went with a very similar, with the same exact structure, 3-3-2-2, except somehow, some way, Terry, there's no way for us to win, both of us to win. So race number 5 is going to put to bed one of our pick 4 tickets.
Well, that makes it fun for me. I think I'm a very competitive person, and that makes me
How
really
can it be fun when you always lose?
Hey, listen, my best bet of the Vic. My best bet won yesterday,
so did mine, but mine went off at a pretty low price. But
yeah.
All right, so that's our hot dog pick 4s, Terry. So now you're into your best bet. You're mentioning your best bet. So race 7 is your best bet. Let me run a quick through the details. This is a 1-mile race. Oh, this is a good race too. It's an allowance, $35,000 for Pennsylvania. These are never won a PA restricted race other than maiden claiming or starter for PA bred 3-year-olds and up. So why is number 1 Twisted Ride Terry's top pick on Tuesday?
Well, let me start out by saying there's 2 scratches in here. Number 2, Divine Miracle, and number 5, Eddie's Charge. But I like Twisted Ride, number 1. He won 2 races in a row, and the last one was a 100K stakes race, and then drops in class today. He has a high percentage winning jockey, Ruben Silveira, who in the last 7 days has won 5 out of 18 races and actually finished in the money 50% of the time. And he has a good workout of 4 furlongs, 48.2, breezing, 5th best out of 54. And then I like number 3, Liar Side Chat as my second pick. He won his last race at Parx Racing and has a high percentage winning trainer. Then my third pick's number 6, Stonegate. His best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters, and he has a trainer jockey combination who in the last 14 days has won 2 out of 5. And then I like number 4, Spark Tack. He has finished in the money in the last 3 of the races, and he's running second versus similar in his last race. And the jockey in the last 7 days has won 2 out of 8 races.
So Twisted Ride, I see the same thing you saw there, Terry. That $100,000 win last time out in the non-graded stakes. Speed numbers have gone up 3 consecutive starts. Horse was much better in the second half of its last start, so I do like that. I'm going to go in number 4, Spartak. A little bit of probably a price in here. It's only got 1 win in 33 races, but at Parx, it's been in the money 18 out of 29. And horse is just marching up the speed ladder with 5 consecutive increases in a row. So maybe setting up for a little bit of a bounce in here. But if it can continue on that path upwards, horse should do all right. Trainer Ralph Riv is zero, something like that. And jockey Jeremy La Prida. They've been in the money, Terry, 3 out of their last 4 races together. And you know what their ROI is?
I don't know, $1.20?
$1.20, and times about 15. So it's they have a $16.50 ROI.
Oh my Lord!
Yeah, well, I wrote down. Wow, I should have wrote down. Oh my Lord!
Oh my Lord!
Number 6, Stonegate. This is not a cheap horse, Terry. This is a cheap horse by your standards, but 5-star Terry, as I called you last week, $230,000 horse. 7 high-quality races in the last 10 starts and 13 furlongs of work since March the 5th. So a lot of things pointing in the right direction for Stonegate. Liar Side Chat, the 3-horse, did win its last race easily. That was its first start off the bench. And if you look back at the horse's cycles, unfortunately, the horse showed some regression, sometimes a lot of regression in the second start off a layoff 2 out of the last 3 times. So it regressed twice, improved once. Statistically, the horse will regress this race. Race number 8, my friend, is 6.5 furlongs, claiming $2,500 for 3-year-olds and up, which have not won a race since January the 12th, not October. This is have never won 4 races either. So race number 8, back to 6.5 furlongs, Terry, where 45 races, 29 won by speed, 17 of which went wire to wire. You get a ginormous rail edge here, plus an inside 3. If you get a 4 out, the numbers are all about the same. And neither one of we have all the outside horses somehow, none of the inside horses, because we're just foolish.
Well, let me start out by saying there's 3 scratches in this race. Number 1, El Hermano. Number 4, Champers. And number 5, Otis. And I like him as my first pick, number 6, El Sobervententi. He has finished in the money in 4 out of the last 4 races, winning 2 of them and running second in his last race. And his trainer-jockey combination in the last 14 days has finished in the money 8 out of 12 times, winning 4 of those. He has a good workout of 49 breezing on April 5th. And then number 9, Easy Day. He came in from Penn National to try Parx Racing and has a high percentage winning trainer and switches to a high percentage winning jockey. He has a good career, finishing in the money 81% of the time, winning 31% of those races. And then number 7, Fast Bob. He likes Parx Racing, finished in the money 60% of the time, and he's won 20% of the races. The distance won't be a problem, and he switches to a high percentage trainer. And then number 8, Midnight Charlie. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He has the highest last speed rating, drops in class today, and he has the highest speed figure at today's distance.
So number 6, El Sobrevivente, Terry. This is a horse I think is probably a candidate for a best bet on the day as well. 2 for 2 at Parx. The horse is going to be angry today. First time out, gelded. And this is a Terry horse, one of your favorite racing angles, can win from the front, the middle, or the back. So a lot of versatility with the 6 horse. Mm-hmm. Number 9, Easy Day. This is the speed of the speed in a field full of speed. Has 1 decent workout since its last race, followed by 2 maintenance workouts. So Easy Day should be ready to run. Number 8, Midnight Charlie, drops from a $100,000 non-graded stakes race after posting the top last race speed figure in that race. Should improve in the 3rd start off the bench and did run some faster fractions in its last start. Finally, number 10, Ego Man, has a couple of good works getting ready for this trip, Terry. If you look through the comments and you look through the horse's performance, it looks like the only thing it needs to do to have a chance to win here is just get a clean trip. It's one of those horses that seems to like to find trouble, Terry, like me when a little boy.
Yep.
And I think that Rizier prime rib ends in race number 8, right? And
yeah, it is.
I don't know about your math today, Terry. I had to go back and check this 3 times. You had it listed at $96. So
yeah,
if you want to pay 96, you're welcome to do so. But I think it works out to 84, but I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, I think you're right. And what I basically did was, and you always tease about me being all. Well, in the 5th race, I used all. In the 6th race, I used the 3 and the 5. In the 7th, I used my top pick of the day, the 1 and the 3. And in the 8th race,
and then in the 8th race, you tried to go all again.
I did go all again, yes.
So you're really depending upon what happens in the middle.
That's right.
So really, what you did is you handicapped 2 races here only.
I actually handicapped them all, but I felt like that 8th race especially was wide open. And if you look at the 5th race, there's nobody that's really stands out to me. So that's why I did that. I'm hoping for a price somewhere.
Hoping for a price. So for me in the 8th race, well, I went through the 8th race already. So race number 9, I kind of wanted to avoid a race of death. That's why I did my pick 4 in the last 4 races. You have a race of death in there, a couple of them. Mm-hmm. I didn't want 2 races of death in my pick 4. So race number 9, 6 furlongs. This is the one where you better not be on the rail. And I can't believe I put the rail horse up top. So I'm going to try to, I don't know what I was thinking right there. But anyway, 6 furlongs. I'm going to break the trend, Terry. That's how great of a handicapper I am.
All right.
6 furlongs, 99 races. Again, the math was kind of easy for me here. 65 won by speed. Math is always easy. That's what they make calculators for.
That's right.
But 29 went wire to wire. Only 3 of which of the winners came from the rail position out of 99 races. But outside of that, there is a slight bias from 2 and 3 and out. So actually, you see 1 doesn't win, but there is a bias for the 2 outperforms the 3, who outperforms the 4, and so on. All right, Terry, let's see. Why do I think the 1 horse is going to get this one? Well, chased some fast fractions last time out and showed some big late pace improvement with a decent workout in the middle. So you know what? I'm going to go ahead and try to break the trend with the 1. I'm nuts, Terry. You're not going to do so because you're going to go with Flattering Ruby instead, and maybe I should have reconsidered. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's true. And let me tell you that in this race, the number 5, I'm Talent, was scratched. So anyway, I like in this race is my first pick. Number 3, Flattering Ruby. She won her last race at Penn National, and she has the highest last speed rating and the highest speed figure at today's distance, and her best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters. Number 6, Seeking the Dream. She has finished in the money in 12 out of 13 races during her career and won 3 races. So she's very competitive. She ran second in the last race at Penn National, and the trainer wins 17% of the time in dirt starts. And then number 1, Buck Sum, your top pick. She won her last race at Parx Racing, has a jockey who in the last 7 days has a record of 12 starts, 3 wins, 2 seconds, 2 thirds, and has a good workout April 2nd of 49 breezing, 12th best out of 38. And actually, I've got her down to 3rd place because of that bias.
I've scared off everybody but myself.
Yeah. Number 2, Empress Diona. She ran second versus similar in her last race at Parx Racing. The trainer wins 22% of the races when bringing back the beaten favorite from the last race. And the trainer in the last 14 days has won 6 out of 18 races, been in the money 9 times. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I probably should have maybe put the 2 horse in front of the 1. I don't know how I missed that. I probably didn't miss that. I probably did weigh it out, but the 2 horse Empress Diona is the speed of the speed here, Terry, in this race. In fact, it is the only one I have listed as an E-horse in here. The question is, in its 3rd start off the bench, can it hang on? The horse tends to get out to big leads, and then kind of horses gobble it up late, and she can't hold on. Flattering Ruby is making that Penn to Parx move. I am not a big fan of the Penn to Parx move, and you can see she's run at Parx 3 times. She's got as many wins, places, and shows at Parx as you and I do running there, Terry. 0. Does have some early pace, but also has some pretty good late pace numbers as well. So maybe she's looking to make that O at Parx go. And then number 6, Seeking the Dream, is another Penn to Parx transfer. Again, I'm not the biggest fan of that. But the horse has run at the distance 10 times, finishing in the money 100% of the time, 3 wins, 4 seconds, and 3 thirds. I hope I did my math right there. So I think, considering the fact that my top 4 horses, the 2 horses get speed and fade, and the other 2 coming in from that Parx angle, maybe just the competition here is enough for the 4th time out of 100, a horse to go from the rail to the winner's circle. We'll see, Terry. But tonight, I know where we're going to go, Terry. Tonight on Horse Center with Sean. Tonight, we're going to go with a very young jockey over to Charlestown, who's doing exceptionally well. Are you familiar with Marshall Mendez and how well he's been doing at Charlestown? Seems like you can put this kid on 100 to 1 horse and he's going to win.
Yeah, he's very aggressive, and he's shown a lot of talent in his early career.
So if you want to ask Marshall a question or just hear how he got into horse racing or his thoughts on how he approaches a race, make sure you tune in tonight, 8 p.m., right here on Horse Racing Radar TV. And while you're here, if you haven't done so already, please hit the subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up. We appreciate them. And then also subscribe and follow us on our other social sites. You see them scrolling right down there at Horse Race, the number 2 day, both all on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, our handle there. I am now on Twitter as well, reluctantly. I'm telling Sean yesterday, I'm already thinking about getting off, but it's
really?
It's just something I don't think about doing. Do you know what I'm saying? And I want to make sure that I provide value for people. Otherwise, what's the point? Other than to say, hey, look at my breakfast today, right? I'm not into that, but what I might do today is I might take throughout the course of the day before some of these races at Parx, after I'm done doing some other things. So maybe the second half of the card, I'll put out the EP, what the pace charts look like, and see if perhaps they can help you find some winners as Parx goes along as well. So make sure you check in tonight For Marshall Mendez, myself, and Sean, I am expecting another fun, entertaining, and insightful show, Terry. It seems like they all work out pretty well.
All right.
You know, it's and we don't really have a way to measure how people what people like and what they don't like. But when you look through YouTube, and I want to thank everybody for this sincerely, through YouTube they have what are called ratios.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the number of thumbs up versus the number of thumbs down. And I was looking through that. I just found this yesterday, Terry. So I was kind of surprised about this. But you know what our ratio is?
In the 90s, maybe?
For every we get 50, we get 2 thumbs down and 98 thumbs up. So we appreciate that. So thank you.
Cool.
Yeah, it's a reflection of the folks that come to the community to watch. So we appreciate that. All right, Terry, race number 10. I waited to almost the end to throw out my best bet. This one is 1 mile and 70 yards. Again, easy math, 100 races, 67 won by speed, 24 of which went wire to wire. Post position, you have an inside 3 bias, 8 outperforms 4 through 7. And this one is 1 mile and 70 yards, allowance $80,000 for a purse of $30,000. For fillies and mares 3 years old and up, which have started for a claiming price of $8,000 or less since April the 2nd, 2020. So for a long time. I think Miss Dillingham is going to be my best bet here, though. I went back and forth with it and the 6 best. At Parx, the horse has run 14 times, has 6 wins, a second, 2 seconds, and a third. And when you just look at every race, just dissect every race, all of its last 10 starts in the past performances, 8 of them are what I call high quality starts. So 8 out of 10. And then, of course, you have that just unbelievable combination of Ruben Silvera and Jamie Ness for the trainer jockey combo. And that's a pretty tough combo to tackle over there at Parx. You don't try to tackle it either. You're going to go with the 2 as well.
Well, and I'll tell you why. I've been in your computer and looked at what you liked. You've been in my computer and saw what I liked. I was going to put this as my best bet of the day and decided, no, I can't steal it away from you. I think
actually that's the opposite is true, Terry, because you send me your picks first.
I know.
And then I make my picks around yours so that I can make you look better by me not copying what you do.
Okay, that sounds good to me.
That's how it works.
Well, you know, this girl, this female horse, she really marks a lot of the boxes off. She has won 4 of her races out of the last 6 races at Parx and has a high percentage winning jockey, Ruben Silvera, who I really, really like, and has a high percentage winning trainer, Jamie Ness, who also I like. She has the highest last speed rating, the highest speed figure at today's distance, and the jockey trainer combination in the last 14 days has finished in the money 8 out of 12 times, winning 4 of those. And then I like number 6, Bess. And I think this is the only really horse that's going to be a danger to Miss Dillingham. But Bess has finished in the money in 9 out of the last 10 races, winning 6 of those races. The trainer wins 50% of the races.
Including one of them against Miss Dillingham.
That's right. Yeah, so she's the one danger, I think. But she's the trainer's won 50% of the races when she drops a horse off a win, and she has a good 4 furlong workout of 47-1 breezing, which is the second best out of 35 horses. And then I like number 10, Not a Trace. She ran second her last race after winning 2 previous races, and she has a jockey in the last 7 days has won 4 out of 15 races. And then number 3 is my 4th pick, Obstinate. She won 2 races in a row and now is going for a hat trick. She has a high percentage winning trainer who, when he drops a horse in class off a win, he wins 83% of the time. And the trainer in the last 14 days has won 6 out of 18 races and finished in the money 9 out of 18 times.
So for me, as I square up on this race, Terry, you have a 10-horse field of which 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them could be forwardly placed, which is why I give Miss Dillingham the edge over Best this time around, because that's a horse that has the top late pace figures but can sit right off the lead because typically pressures Miss Dillingham. Best did beat the top choice and missed by a little in the 2 times that they squared up against each other. Overall, the horse has missed by no more than 3/4 of a length from winning or won 9 of the last 10 races. Obstinate dropping off a win, and I was going to pop this one maybe to the top, Terry, because Scott Lake has won 5 of 6 when he drops a horse off of a win, and the horse has won 3 of 4 at the distance. So that's another one that I think has an opportunity to scare. At number 10, Not a Trace, major pop higher in the last race, Terry, better across the board, and at the distance has run 3 times with 2 wins and a second. And it looks to me like they're about to get rolling in race number 1, Terry.
Yes, they are.
Let's see how that plays out for us.
All righty.
All right, and out the gates they go, Terry, and the 7 horse jumps out to a quick lead, but that one looked kind of sweaty to me. The 1 horse pulls up alongside, so now the 1 and the 7 with the 6 3 wide, followed by the 5 in between the 6 and the 3. The 6 horses said, okay, I've had enough of this. I'm going to take command of this race, Terry. And that's your second pick. I don't have that
That's
one
right.
in there.
That a boy girl.
Yes, but now the 1 is re-rallying on the rail as the 6 looks like it's about to fade. So it ain't a boy girl. That's about to go backwards, but trying to re-rally again. So it's a pretty tight race, but I think the 6
It is.
Looks like the jockey's all out on the 6. Got a really good hold on the 1. Hasn't really asked the 1 to go yet. The 3 sliding it on the rail inside the 7 horse. So right now it looks to me like it's going to go 1. The 1's going to win this race.
Mrs. Cruz.
Yeah. So the question is the well, they're just coming out of the turn right now. The 3 horse looks to me like the only one with an opportunity to run the 1 down. The question is who's going to finish second. So the 3 is starting to flatten out a little bit, but the 7's flattening out. You got but trying to find a little bit late legs. The 2 horse here making a late move. So it looks to me like it's going to go 1, 2, and then the 7. Can the 7 get by the 3 at the end? I don't think so. So it's going to go 1, 2, 3, 7 to open up the first race at Parx. How about that?
Yeah,
and the 1 horse goes off at 9 to 2, Terry.
Oh, wow. That's pretty cool.
Yes, as my top choice. So how about that? It's a good way to start the day.
It is. It is. That's really good. Nice.
Let's talk about ending the day, Terry. Right?
All right.
I should have made that my best bet today.
Yeah.
would have been out of the box in a good spot. All right, race number 11, Terry, the last race of the day. It is a mile and 70 yards, claiming $7,500. 3-year-olds or 4-year-olds and up. So why not just make 3-year-olds and up, which have never won 2 races in their career. So a mile and 70 yards, Terry, for the last show of the day. 100 races, 67 won by speed, 24 of which went wire to wire. And you have an inside 3 bias, 8 outperforms 4 through 7. You have the 9 horse, as do I, as our no, that one's give you the right things. Austin Willie as our top picks.
Yeah, that's right. And first of all, there's a scratch number 5, Mr. Tuttle. Anyway, I like the number 9, and I think his name's Austin Why Lie.
Austin Why Lie, all right.
Yeah, he closed in his last race, only winning the race by a head at Parx Racing and at today's distance, and he's earned the highest last speed rating. The trainer in the last 14 days has won 2 out of 6. And then number 4, 50C as Ofree, of Gray.
50 Shades of Gray, Terry.
Shades of Gray,
Did you see that movie?
I did not.
I did not either.
He had a couple of disappointing races, so he was given a break for 6 weeks and now has workouts and that show that he may be ready to race. Well, after a good rest, he he was claimed last race by a high percentage winning trainer, Michael Pino, who is winning at an 18% clip at this race, at this meet.
Those last 2 races, Terry, were just,
yeah,
they were awful.
Yeah.
So Michael Pino better do something to this horse.
He better, but I think the horse needed a rest. And,
that workout, though, 5 furlongs, 103, it's kind of slow, too. I actually had him rated higher. I downgraded him a little bit because of those last 2 races in that workout. So what I did for you, Terry, see what I'm trying to do for you, Terry? I'm trying to help you out by badmouthing the horse.
Oh, thank you. Then he should win.
I think he's probably going to take the W after me talking on him like that.
Yeah. Then my third pick is number 8, City Guy. He finished 3rd in his last race and has finished 50% of the time in the money this year. And then number 6, Go Huskies. He has a jockey who in the last 7 days has won, 3 out of 12. He's finished in the money 9 out of 12 times, and the distance won't be a problem for him.
Yes, I'm going 6, 7, 8, 9, right in the middle of the track there, Terry. Starting off with the 9, Austin Wiley or Willie. Strong late run in its last, does have the top late pace numbers in the field. Horse seems to like this kind of 1 mile, 70-yard distance. Ran at it 5 times, has a win, a second, and a third. I mean, not a stellar record, but run it at any other kind of distance 13 times, 0 wins, 0 seconds, and 2/3. So for whatever reason, likes the oddball distance. Number 7, Heated Battle, does have the top late pace numbers in the field. If he can get off to a clean start, he has a strong chance without a lot of early pace in here that can stick. So this is a horse that I think has, I mean to say he has a lot of the top early pace numbers in this field, not the top late pace numbers. And then number 6, Go Huskies. So for me, this whole race seemed kind of like wide open. Like who's going to win? I don't know. Yeah. Number 6, Go Huskies, gets a weight break. The horse does have some of the most consistent speed figures in the field, though last time out took a pretty big step backwards. So hoping it rebounds here. Number 8, City Guy, was a tough call for me, admittedly, over that 4-horse, Terry, 50 Shades of Gray. But as both the 4 and the 8 are the only 2 E horses in the field, where most of the horses want to be towards the back, a couple that like the pressure. Mm-hmm. But the 4-horse, like I said, when you look at those last 2 races, what did he finish? A combined 100 lengths behind the winner?
Oh yeah, he was pretty bad the last 2. So,
mm-hmm. And then he had a good race 3 back, but then after that, prior to that, the horse was just again a mess. So Michael Pino has got his work cut out for him on this particular horse. And then I thought, okay, maybe Michael with that 20% win rate off 200 claims, that's a pretty good number. Yeah. So that's 40 horses out of 200 that he claimed he came back to win the next time out.
Yeah.
But then I looked at that workout, 5 furlongs in 103 and 2. That's slow. Yeah. So I don't know that. I mean, if the horse breaks sharply and gets towards the lead, look out, because when it's broken sharply and had the lead at the quarter-mile marker, won both of those races. Yeah. If it doesn't have the lead at the break, it's probably not going to win, Terry, because that's been the way the horse has performed. So that brings into my prime rib pick 4 to close the show. I didn't do any kind of all stuff because I'm a little bit more courageous than that, Terry. I like to handicap more than 2 races.
That might be right, but I get a lot of long shots that you wouldn't get, and I pick up some.
But are you really getting them when you go all, Terry? I don't think you're really getting them when you go all.
A lot of times, like if you take that race last week that Jared had, what was the first leg, and he paid almost $80. That's because he took all of the long shots. I don't think he really handicapped that horse actually.
So I'm going to go 3 by 4 by 3. And then, as I mentioned, this last race just looks like a cluster to me. So I just went with the 4, the 6, 7, 8, and 9. Mine's only $90. Both Terry and I staying under budget today. Again, here are our picks for the entire day, with the 1 horse already winning the first race, with the 2 horse coming in second. And then my box it up is in race number 2. Terry's box it up is in race number 4, $1 exacta box, 50-cent trifecta box, 10-cent superfecta box. Our hot dog pick 4 starting in race number 3 looked like this. We're both going 3-3, 2-2. But the problem is race number 5 is going to be a race of death for one of us. Our hot dog to prime rib. Terry's going race 5, 6, 7, and 8. He's got some courage in there because he's got a couple of races of death, right? You got race number 5 and 6 are races of death. That's correct. I don't have any such problem today. And those are all of our picks for today, Terry.
But actually, the 5th race is not a race of death for me because I went all.
So not a race of death for you.
Yeah. So anyway, and I wanted to go back to that 4-horse that you were talking about that had done so bad and give it a little reason why I thought there might be something wrong here. In February 2nd, he ran a race where he actually stopped and they banned him off. They eased him and then took him off. I think something was wrong. And then they tried him again about 22 days or 26 days later, and he ran terrible again. So then they arrested him, and he's got a workout on March 18th, which was in the mud, 47 breezing, which is a good workout for 4 furlongs in the mud. And then I think the next workout was just a maintenance workout. That's why it's 103.2. So those are my reasons.
Well, I mean, like I said, me badmouthing him does you nothing but favors, Terry.
That's
so
right.
he's absolutely going to be the winner. If you like what you saw today, again, we talked about, please give us thumbs up on YouTube. Like us on Facebook, follow us on our social media. And another way you can help support the show is head on over to horseracingtoday.net. Please click on the HRT gear. Today is the last day. You get 15% off anything, so you can look great at the track, be smarter. It makes you a better handicapper, that's for sure, Terry.
That's
Then,
right.
of course, you can help support the show. We greatly appreciate that. And if you're going to bet at Turf Paradise today, what you might want to do is head on over to Guaranteed Tip Sheet. I'll put a link in the YouTube description. You can also find links all over horseracingtoday.net. Please use one of those links to go on over there. And Turf Paradise is the free track of the day today. So you go on to Guaranteed Tip Sheet. Again, please use a link from horseracingtoday.net. You'll see Turf Paradise is free. Yesterday, we did Mahoning Valley, Terry, as our free track of the day. I certainly hope somebody played that late pick 4, because with our top 4 picks, so in race the 9, 8, 7, 6. So race number 6, our second pick 1. Race number 7, our first pick 1. Race number 8, our third pick 1. And race number 9, our fourth pick. So first, second, third, and fourth. You know how much that $2 pick 4 paid, Terry?
I have no idea.
$2,785.
Oh, that's pretty darn good.
Yes.
So
wish we had made that the prime rib pick for you.
That'd be great. And also, I think people should kind of pay attention to my pick of the day that's on the site there, because yesterday I won at Will Rogers Down, and I'm right now this month at a 40% win clip. My horse first pick has ran in the money 70% of the time, and my second pick has been in the money 80% of the time and won 20% of its races. So
there you go. Terry Hollywood Hayes' best bet and race analysis for Will Rogers Downs today is in race number 9, number 6, Mesa Moon, number 1, Jolly Jumper, and number 3, Shannon C. But according to your analysis of your performance so far, just forget the 3 horse altogether and just pay attention to the first 2 horses.
That's right. Although the 3 has, my third pick hasn't done all that terrible. My third pick actually has won, 10%. It's been in the money 30% of the time. So it's just kind of average.
That's the kind of one that you're just throwing in there hoping to hit the back end of the trifecta, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Absolutely. All right, Terry, that wraps up today's show. Kind of a long one, going over an hour. We got the first race in. My box it up is in the batter's box, so to speak. So hopefully we can bring that home right away. Any final thoughts before we get out of here today?
Well, I just think that everybody should have a great week this week. I'm glad the weather's cleared up around here a little bit. It was raining a little bit this weekend. I think you should just tell the people that are important in your life how you feel about them, because life is short.
Indeed, life is indeed short. And it'll be a short time before we're back tonight. Sean and I, 8 p.m. Eastern with Marshall Mendez. Terry and I will be back tomorrow, same bat time, same bat station for Keeneland. So we're going to try our luck at one of the most difficult tracks, both Wednesday and Thursday. So make sure you tune in for that. Until then, Terry, we hope your Tuesday, your day, your picks, and everything that you do ends up in our great friend Jay Marco's
winner's circle.
Absolutely. Have a fantastic Tuesday. We'll see you tonight.